I got to lean in.
Happy Sunday, everybody. It is the Lord's Day, wherever it is the Lord's Day. And we're here to talk about the real housewives of the damn ultimate girl trip in Thailand. Not a traditional Sunday, but I'm here with, well, Jamie and Phony Braxton. Is that your lady boy name?
That
Not
is.
Ladyboy.
It is.
You've always been a lady boy to me. Yeah, I just want to let you know that. Ever since I met you, I knew that you were a lady.
Is
And
A
is
lady.
Jamie is Marisol over there pouring alcohol already? It's early.
No.
Listen, I got my
You just fixed your lips to suck on a hookah before we went live. Like, let's not
Right.
do
The
that.
hookah is down.
I'm making coffee.
Listen, I'm drinking water. You know, I'm not drinking this month, and I'm probably gonna go till May. So listen,
Weren't
Marisol
you
was
just
not.
drinking the other day?
No, baby.
Mm.
I'm not,
Okay,
baby.
Leah.
I'm Leah. I ain't. I
Okay,
don't,
Leah.
Okay,
I'm
Leah.
Leah, boo. None of, but that being
Let's get Cortez drunk.
please no. Or like a Chad story last night. Apparently, he popped hit his head. Heather Gay. I don't know
That's
what
why.
happened.
That's why I had this hoodie on over here, so y'all wouldn't see this over here.
We don't see it now. But nonetheless, shout out to everybody that's watching right now. I see people are coming in. It is a Sunday. We have never really did a live show on a Sunday, so it's a first. So it's always great to see, you guys come out to support us, especially when like things are such like out of whack in terms of like our schedule. But we're here. We're here to talk about the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Thailand, season 3, episodes 2 and 3. I see individual in the chat, and hey, what's up? What's going on, Asia? Empress said, "Am I first?" Asia said, "No, I'm first." Asia, you ain't first because you are part of the lean. So Empress, yes, you are first. Bump what Asia said. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Deborah's here, MJ is here, and Denny's here as well. So shout out to everybody watching right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say like this video and subscribe. And I kind of want to go ahead and get into it because we have a lot to discuss. But like I said, like, subscribe, and we'll have call-ins at the end. Please feel free to comment in the comments, whether it's live or right now, on your thoughts on our commentary, and let's get into it. So it's episode 2 and it's day 2. I think somebody corrected me in the comments, basically saying that this is a 10-day vacation versus the others, because obviously they went further. So I believe it may be, instead of being it, I thought it'd be like 7 episodes, but it may be a little longer. But I think they'll still wrap it up around 7, because just because there's like 10 days, I mean they won't, cram things in, multiple days in one episode.
And the other two were 7 and 8 episodes.
Yeah. So I think they went further, but I think they'll definitely follow that same thing. And I see what's going on, Angel Gamer from the UK. Are you really a gamer? Because I'm a gamer, and Jamie thinks he's a gamer. But yeah. All right. So it's this day is planned by Leah, and they're going to the elephant sanctuary. Has either of you ever been to Thailand before?
No.
Okay, I've been before, and I went to a sanctuary, but where I went is kind of what they talk bad about, like the place, because they said that the elephants there came from places where they were like ridden and things like that. I actually rode an elephant, so I probably Peter probably. Well, I mean, I didn't know. You don't know until
I know. I always know.
You didn't know, baby.
You
You,
Animal cruelty.
Jamie, you write a lot of things. Okay, so don't act like it's Sunday. We gotta
okay, and a lot of them are in between homes too.
Right. Marisol is still talking about, how much she likes to drink. We talked about that on Friday. Leah is at the Spirit House, praying for sleep, and she's starting the PMS. There's a Ladyboy show tonight, I guess hosted by Candace. We'll get to that later. But Porsha and Candiace, are kind of like having this back and forth in their confessionals based off of like why there may be an issue between them two. Candiace says that, of course, Porsha was going to side with Monique because they were friends. And, Porsha just feels like, wow, did she have an opinion about her? I don't think she did. I think it was more so how Candiace felt. Or did I miss something?
Yeah. Porsha didn't say much.
Okay. Hey, Jazz. Happy Sunday.
Sorry.
Hey, Jazz.
It's okay. It's Sunday. I'm assuming you just left church.
Yes.
I'm sorry. We're going to go with that. But so after that, there is a bus ride. They're having conversations. Porsha feels like, she found out that she was half Nigerian. That's why she felt like she got her hips. She wished she would get some of her boobs taken out because she feels like maybe she would identify more with the Nigerian. Like, girl, you know, you got that work done now. Because when you go back to the seasons 5 and 6, Porsha didn't have all that ass. Let's just be clear.
At all.
But, you know, just like Larsa, she ain't got no work done. So, we'll go with that.
I think
Natural,
Porsha's
athletic.
is real.
You think it's real? We're what? Fake?
No, when you go back to 5 and 6, she was slim, but she had always had an ass, and now she's gained a lot of weight, like woman weight. It seems like it's her.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. You know,
If it's work, it's goddamn good work.
I definitely feel like it's a little work in there. But hey,
I mean, I feel like she's got stuff lifted, maybe like tightened, but not really added, like addition, you know.
Okay. Also, Leah and Alexia are having a conversation, and they're talking about Alexia's storyline, basically her storyline of season 4, where her previous husband was to be gay. When they talk about that story, Alexia is all into it. She talks about Adriana being inappropriate in the season that we just saw. Obviously, we hadn't seen it. It hadn't aired when they were talking about it, but saying that she feels like Alexia used, you know, her storyline, her pain to get on the show as she was a friend. But nothing really happened in this part. Do you have any thoughts on this whole little beginning area? Just little side conversations, right? All right, so we get to the sanctuary, and they're feeding the elephants, and that turns into a mud fight. First of all, I wouldn't be doing all of that. I just they did it, but to be putting mud on an elephant is something that's already not as pleasing to the nose, no, I wouldn't do that. But kudos to everybody for participating. Nobody had any ill feelings about it. At lunch, Leah wants to talk about sex. She's glad that everyone is so open about sex, but she feels like on her cast, people don't really want to talk about sex. And it comes up again later. But Leah wants to do like a game, and basically everyone needs to give the best and worst thing about being a housewife. Candiace says that the best thing is that, you know, Potomac being the first all-black cast, but the worst being social media. And Gizelle has her, you know, her comments basically saying like, really, Candiace, like, you're a mess on social media. But Candiace feels like she does not initiate mess. She does not just blurt out stuff. She responds to whatever's going on. Alexia talks about Real Housewives of Miami coming back, and that's really her whole thing, that she's so glad that after 8 years of a break, franchises don't come back, and that's what she's so proud about. Whitney talks about her growth, with that being her best and her worst. And Porsha kind of goes a little deeper, and she talks about the best being a sisterhood, and that she basically shares her experience with postpartum, which we all knew about on the show when she actually had the baby. And she talks about, she gets emotional and says like how production really pushed her and kind of got her out of element when she really didn't want to do anything, especially film. Marisol talks about Mama Elsa, and then Leah gets emotional about her last season, specifically the producers. She's saying that the producers did not let her go and see her grandmother as she was dying. So I'll pass it to y'all, get y'all thoughts on it. I guess any of the latest best and worst moments of Housewife, starting with you, Jazz. Ladies first.
Lady boys?
Well, you know, if we're going Lady Boy, then first. But
it's really hard for me to take Leah. Is that who that was?
Leah, yeah.
It's hard for me to take her seriously because it seems like everybody else is not saying that there are tears of like trauma. But what I'm saying is it just feels like hers was just like the most, not superficial because her grandmother was dying, but the most like preventative, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just feel like, you know, whatever. But when it comes like to Whitney and stuff, it's just really funny to see her, like, because I feel like she's changing. She's acting the same, but she's not acting the same on this show. Because just like she's like trying to withhold her like blondness, like she's really keeping it really close to the chest of how dingy she really is. But I mean, I would love to see the growth that she was talking about because I didn't.
Okay.
Not all.
You know,
Where is it? Is the growth here in the room?
That people say I didn't know nothing about it, but it was what it was.
Yeah, I think Leah for me was the most annoying in the situation, more so because me and Bae were kind of like going back and forth, and he said that he doesn't believe that production would let her go to see her grandmother. So I was kind of like, I don't know, you know, sometimes they're kind of weird with certain things, and you know, it was just kind of like her story just was the least. It was more surface for me, and I just was like in the middle of how I felt about it. But with the Miami girls, I just love that they are just happy to be back on TV and happy to be back like in the light. And since they actually have been doing a great job, I appreciated the fact that they, you know, mentioned that, because it is true. You don't really get a revival of a franchise, especially not 8 years later. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
With the same cast and not like the cast completely rebooted. I like that. I think that this part, so far, I have really enjoyed the ladies. The great thing about Ultimate Girls Trip is we get to see a break from dynamics on their individual franchises and get to like be reintroduced to them. Because after 4, 5, 6 seasons of the same people on your cast, like a lot of that animosity and previous stuff like builds up and you don't ever have a clean slate. So it's really cool to see them come in and just be introduced to whole brand new people. And it's almost like everybody gets a do-over for like first impressions, right? Mm-hmm. Leah was annoying mostly because out of all of the franchises over the past 20 years, nobody has ever come forth and said production has not allowed them to leave for a death, a medical emergency, for anything. The only thing that I can think, and particularly when the season was airing, was COVID protocols. So if she would have left, she would have had to been quarantined or something to come back. Because if you remember that season, they really weren't doing a whole lot of anything, I think. Yeah. I really liked Marisol's story, talking about Mama Elsa, just because I can when their seasons were airing, I thought she didn't want Mama Elsa to be on the show because Mama Elsa kind of like sucked all the oxygen out of the room and like almost like outshined everybody that she was around. But to hear her say like, I did not want people to be cruel to my mom, you know, because my mom loves this, but people, it was the dawn of Twitter and stuff like that. So I thought that was really sweet. I love Elsa, and say what you want about Marisol. Her relationship with Mama Elsa was one of the highlights of Miami for me. And I'm really sad that she's not here, but I really like this scene. I felt bad for Porsha, but I was really happy that she shared her story. So honestly,
let me just say this. Y'all know I love Porsha, right? I love Porsha.
Yeah.
I love Porsha. With that being said, it's sometimes hard for me to believe her when she cries, and and it's just I don't know if it's maybe the teeth or the way she cries. I'm not sure, but
you said the teeth,
because you know they're like
the alligator teeth. I mean, you know, Porsha's my fave too.
I love Porsha, but I'm just saying sometimes she's like, I could turn on the light. I was just like, oh.
I'm like, girl, just get up. But I don't know. I ain't had no kids.
But yeah, but I love her now. But sometimes, you know, she's just, I don't know. I believe her though, but sometimes.
Okay. And this is why I said last week I felt like Porsha was projecting. You could tell without even knowing this that her having the baby and the postpartum was real for her. So when she had the exchange with Nene, I definitely think it was rough for her. You know, that whole process for her was crazy. So that's why I felt like when she mentioned it, I was like, yeah, that you definitely were projecting. It triggered you, the fact that somebody was talking about somebody after having a baby, because you had it yourself. That's why I said that.
I didn't like Gizelle's response to Candiace, because in the same breath she was like, you start stuff on Twitter and you're a disaster, but literally the next episode she's like, Candiace she doesn't start mess, she isn't purposely messy, she's reactionary. I'm like, so I'm very confused. Is she reactionary or is she deserving of every single thing that happens to her on Twitter? And y'all know,
child.
I haven't been a Candiace fan. I barely came around to Candiace. I barely came around to Candiace a season ago. Okay. But I stand delivered, and I stand in my wrongness, Jasmine. I owe you an apology.
All right, so there, Candiace kind of gets emotional in this moment too, but it kind of continues on the bus when she explains why, and she says that her and Christopher have been having a lot of issues. Obviously, we saw in the show for a little bit that he was working a lot, and it's crazy because the storyline went from he don't work, he got no job, to he works all the damn time, and I guess like okay, but that's what she expressed. But she said that basically right before coming, she had the worst argument of her marriage, where the words divorce were mentioned out, or were blurted out at some point. Whitney talks about having kids, specifically Marisol, and it's revealed that Marisol cannot have kids. I think someone mentioned in the chat. I didn't know that either. So that's good. That is why I like, specifically Ultimate Girls, because you do find out a lot of things when you think Marisol is an OG of her cast. I mean, like if you watch Miami, I didn't watch the first 3 seasons, but Jamie did and he didn't know. So that's why I really like Ultimate Girlship in general. Porsha and Candiace, everybody gets back to the house, and Porsha wants KFC. And all the girls chime in, and she wants mashed potatoes, and Candiace wants breast, white meat. Yeah, I think somebody in the who was I talking to about Thailand recently? They was asking me, like, I think I said I had Burger King in Thailand. They was like, they got all of them. Like, yes, they have all of those things in Thailand, other places too, not just Thailand, but yeah. But Whitney is getting her sew-in, and Heather is doing her sew-in. So in their discussion, they are talking about their relationship. They mention Lisa a lot, to the point to where Heather is like, well, she did worse things to you, even with like when you weren't friends with me. And Whitney's expressing how loyal she was to her at one point, loyal to Heather, even when she was being mean to her and things like that. And they kind of call a truce and do a pinky kiss and promise that they're going to
be 50-50.
Be 50-50. But to be honest, y'all give me y'all thoughts on that. I ain't really got nothing to say about them two. Not in this moment, no.
I looked at it and took it as a grain of salt. Like, we'll see how this works.
Yeah. Whitney drained me on her season and is draining me on this season. Like, girl, my God, at this point, like, why do you keep bringing it up? Just shut up. Shut up. My God.
It's exhausting to keep hearing her bring that shit up, because it's just like, girl, shut up. What you just said, shut up. Girl, it's just like, keep bringing it up, and she's not going to change it. Even if she does change it, it just doesn't matter, because you still have told yourself, you brought on the show because it's a show, and the moment was supposed to be a show moment, and you done sacrificed the relationship for some show moment shit. So you still in the wrong. It doesn't matter if she knew about it or not. At this point, it doesn't even matter. So now I just want to just click through that shit. I'm done with it.
Right. That part.
Okay. We'll move to the next scene. But before I do, I know y'all see Sass K is here today on a Sunday, and she says y'all need to like this video, like I always say. So if you're watching right now, take the time, remove your mouse or whatever you on your phone, your iPad, and like this video right now. Okay. All right. So we get to the dinner, game night, whatever, Ladyboy night. I don't know what you want to call it. And when they get there, this is planned by Candiace. Now, if you like Ladyboys, I always thought Ladyboys were just drag queens in Thailand, because that's what it was expressed to me when I went. But I mean, I've seen a couple of debates about it, online. But I think these women just really didn't know. So anything they may have said, I wouldn't take offense to it at all. I've seen people be like, look, come on now. You can't.
I think they have an umbrella term over in Thailand. I think Ladyboy literally means whether you're a drag queen, like female impersonator, period. Drag queen, trans. I think they just say Ladyboy.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
They definitely view gender and things completely different in other countries. And so when we get upset about some stuff, I have to remind myself, like, okay, well, it's like, this is America. Everywhere doesn't view certain things the same way as America. So this is probably just like, I always understood Ladyboy to be trans women. But obviously, seeing some stuff online, I think it's more of an umbrella term.
Okay.
Are they mad? I'm not privy to it. So are they mad about the term Ladyboy, or just
no? I think during the show, some of the ladies were like, "Oh, they look so great. They look so great." And one of them said, "Are they all men, or are any of them real women, or something like that?"
Giselle.
So it kind of was like, ooh. But Candace did bring it up and say it's a drag show.
Yeah,
so I think that's
the way that she portrayed it. Even when she said like to wear this and wear that, because that's how it was presented to me when we went to the drag show in Phuket. It was Ladyboys and they were drag queens. So at least that's what I saw in front of my two eyes. So I don't know. But speaking of Ladyboys, Candiace gives all the girls names, right? I saw a comment just now from Miss Mix. She says Candiace gave all the white girls cute and nice names. I like her, but I'm gonna call it out. So I'm gonna ask y'all, what did y'all think about the names in general? Gizelle didn't like. Well, I think she didn't mind her name too much. I think she didn't like the fact that Candiace gave herself Petty because I think Gizelle would have liked to be Petty LaBelle versus her. That's how that's how that's how Gizelle views herself as being petty. So she was like, "Petty, you ain't petty. You cry. You do this. Blah blah blah." The whole time, everybody likes their names except for Porsha specifically. She did not like the moment it was said, and she was giving very much so like, "What the fuck that mean, bitch?" Not here for it. But while all that is happening, give me your thoughts on the names, and yeah.
I thought the names were all cute. I didn't like Portia's name more so because I didn't like the name, but what Candace was going at, I was like, okay, I get what she was going at. But I thought the names were cute. It was fun. That would have been a fun moment just to revel in, because it's like, it's not your real name. Just take it and move on.
It's not your real name. So.
not like y'all was changing y'all names legally. Like, come on.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do y'all think that Candiace should have gave everybody something shady?
No. Yes, I do. I love Candiace, but I also think that I think that Candiace was warranted. I like the names; it was cute, but I do think that it would have been funnier if everybody else got a different name. Because she could have played off of Heather being slow about Jen. She could have played off of Whitney being just slow in general. You know what I'm saying? So she could have went a little bit further with them, but I think she was just wrong to not even the black-white thing, but just fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? So I think she's wanted. I do think that Porsha is acting really like, when it comes to like this housewife situation, she's being really sensitive when she's kind of acting oblivious to the reason why she has some tension with Candace in the first place. So I think that she's kind of swept her little shit under the rug and kind of acting like, okay, girl, why are you coming at me? This is supposed to be fun. And no, girl, we doing this. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
she came at Candace at dinner the previous night. So like, I don't know why she's surprised that Candace turned around and threw a shot at her. Isn't this what Atlanta does every single
episode? They have underlying a little beef. I mean, it's we know that they've had exchange on social media, so we ain't stupid,
I think the names made sense too, because she has that little underlying issue with Porsha. She has real issues with Gizelle, and then she don't really know the other girls. So it's like, why give them a shady name? Like, give the two that you have an issue with the shady name and keep it moving.
Okay. I see a couple of comments, and people say like I did kind of holler at should take a minute. I didn't know what she was gonna say, to be honest. and I was just like, oh my gosh. But like I said, Porsha was not here for it. And I mean, I think it would be great to give them all shady names, but like she mentioned in the next episode, she didn't really know a lot of them. So I mean, I don't know how. I mean, she could have probably researched them, but I think that would have made her more of a fan and kind of real like fan like to be researching what they got going on versus what you know. And I think I think that's what she played off of, kind of what she knew.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get to the second part of the dinner, or the actual dinner, and Candace asks the question to everyone, like, how has the show has the show affected anyone negatively, like in their marriage and their relationships? And Gizelle speaks up, the one who don't have a man,
right?
Don't have nothing. She's just like, and I say she can't speak, but she spoke up first, like she always does, and she basically says that men get on the show. And when they're on the show, they can't hide. It's nothing they can't have a side piece. Basically, it's gonna come out, i.e. Michael Darby. And she says this as a reference. Michael Darby,
Jamal Bryant.
Michael Darby has been used a lot throughout this show. Yeah, but and I would like to see Ashley on the girls' trip. So I'm not gonna lie. I want to see her on probably the next one, but I don't know who with. But I want to see her on there because it seems like all the women in the Bravo universe know about Ashley and Michael Darby.
Right. But is Michael Darby going to sue Gizelle for slander or whatever he's suing Candace for? Because she just brought him up out of nowhere. So, are we going to be seeing his headlines?
Probably not.
You're not.
But things get crazy, or things get interesting in this moment because they basically call on Porsha to give her story, and Portia's like, I don't know. You asked Candace; she the one who brought it up, and so Candace explains what she knew. Basically, the story that we all saw. She was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, She was at at Fallon and what's his name's house, and that was supposed to be like her friend. We all know they don't Housewives; they don't really be their friends for real. But they were supposed to be her friend, and months later they was together. We all know the story. Like you all know the story. If you don't know what, Google Porsha and Simon, it'll come up. I promise you. But Porsha explains, and Porsha says that she knew Simon already. She said that when she met her and went over to his house, they were not talking. But it was revealed, obviously, that Fallon had cheated, and that was probably the motive for them getting divorced. And so once she found out he was getting a divorce, they were getting divorced, she checked on him. And he was like, "Oh, you checking on me? I want to see you." And they got engaged a month later. That's what yeah, so all the other women chime in. Heather was like, "Well, shit, I'll take a man too." No, you won't. Whitney says, "I already took a man," and she did.
Right, she did.
And in this moment, if you watch Real Housewives of Miami this last season, I was hoping that Alexia would be a little bit more adamant about it because she was so like gung-ho about it on her season, but she didn't say nothing about this anyway. But she does talk about her gay husband, which bores the hell out of Leah. This causes issues between her and Marisol, to where she tells Marisol to worry about drinking and your tight ass stomach, and that's where the episode ends. So I'll get y'all thoughts on the Candiace and Porsha situation, Porsha's story, and then Leah being bored. Started with the Jazz.
I do. Somebody just said in the comments, I think that was also a way for Porsha to clear her name as well. Whatever story she wanted out there, then she had the floor to put it out there. So I think that it was both of them got whatever they needed from the situation. Mm-hmm. As far as Leah, she's rude as fuck. That's why I can't be sitting over there being sorry for your ass, talking about I couldn't go get my grandma, but you couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you crying about some shit, but you got this personality that means that you could have stood the fuck up and left. You doing some rude shit, like, I don't like that. Now, you could be sitting there being bored about the same thing. Like, sometimes people just like to drink and talk about some shit again and again. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I just feel like, I understand, the whole, I know you didn't bring it up, but Candiace being like, cool with her being bored and stuff like that. But I didn't like the fact that she was okay with that, because if it was her story, if she wanted to keep talking about Chris, she would want somebody to keep listening too. So I didn't like it.
I agree.
Leah in this moment just reminded me of why I keep saying she is a white woman at heart. She literally sat there. I mean, not just at heart. I mean, it was annoying because it's like she literally sat there, made the comments, and then when Marisol said something about it, she made it seem like Marisol was trying to make her and Alexia fight. And it's like, no, girl, you literally said out loud a few times, I'm bored. And she just gave me self-centered in the moment. Like, if it was her story, she would want everybody to listen and, empathize, sympathize, whatever. But with, Alexia, I will say she did, Leah did hit the nail on the head when she said that Alexia is like reading a script, because a lot of times when I'm watching Miami, I'm like, Alexia, you have said the exact same thing the exact way. And I am tired of hearing it. I just don't think that.
I don't think Leah was wrong in her thinking, because I do agree with her about Alexia. Like, it made sense, but in terms of like that whole on board thing, and then like Jazz was trying to backpedal, like trying to gaslight Marisol into like, you basically saying what you saying that you're bored. If they're talking about something, you're saying that it's boring.
And I can see if Gizelle didn't ask about it. Like, you're in all these different groups, so you probably said it to this group with Candace in it, then this group in it. So Gizelle is like, okay, I didn't hear the story. So I mean, it's so many different variables in that shit. It didn't call for that type of information. So don't be a bully. It was nasty. Right.
Well, it was out of the blue. Yeah. So this was the only time that we saw Alexia telling the story, other than when she told it to Leah. So for Leah to be so amiable and getting along with everybody and all these kumbaya moments, and literally in the span of like half a second, it's literally like she sat there, she was bored with the situation and said, okay, I'm just going to start some chaos, which is what she does on her season. And so it was very it gave very much Whitney vibes, because that's what fucking Whitney does on Salt Lake. It was just annoying. And I'm glad Marisol, I've been loving Marisol on this reboot. In the original, Marisol was always very timid, very quiet. She really didn't speak up a lot. Ever since she's come back, Marisol's been inserting herself, and she doesn't let shit slide. So I'm glad that she checked Leah over her friend. Porsha's prayer.
Not Porsha's prayer. Is it the opposite of Porsha's prayer?
Hell no.
Just call me.
I don't believe that.
I think Leah been taking shots though behind our backs on the show.
I do too, and I ain't trying to do that. But
I think she's been taking shots.
Alexia tells a story. Alexia tells stories like all like older Latina women tell stories. It's very and they literally go over every minute detail and sidetrack and come back, and it's just like, oh my god, can we just get to the point? Was he fucking a man or not? Like, let's just go. I love it.
Just looking through some of the comments, I see people just kind of comment about Leah. And people, I do see people, they agree, like, look, me and Chad, like, Leah was not wrong. She was just wrong for her delivery of being bored was just out of whack to me.
Yeah.
Alexia does sound like a robot, a Cuban, and she sounds like a barracuda. If you watch Miami, a robotic barracuda.
Yeah.
And
I mean, half the shit Leah talks about, I get bored with too. So, like, girl, please.
Yeah, I mean,
you know
what? To Candace's credit in that moment, she did tell Leah, okay, well, then bring something. Let's talk what you want to talk about. Yeah. You know, she did, and Leah was like, oh no, it's okay. I ain't got nothing to say. I'm like, girl, now
it's weird.
I guess what makes it worse about that is that, yeah, Leah, you may be bored because you heard the individual story earlier, but these other ladies didn't. So it's like. Right. That's not fair. I'm sure maybe she'll watch it and kind of look back on it. I don't know. But that's how that episode ends, because it ends with Marisol and what's her name?
Leah.
Leah kind of having a back and forth. Leah, like I said, basically telling her, like, you're the one over here with your stomach hurting and you're drinking all goddamn day. As if I didn't have, I'm not sober now, but that goes into episode 3. So we just finished episode 2. Where episode 3 is the same scene. But before I get started into this, go ahead and make sure, like I said, like the video, you guys. There's about 60 people in the chat right now. I love the comments here in the comments, but be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, let us know too. We love to shout out people that are new to the channel because we're constantly growing. All right, so episode 3, the crazy episode, channel. The real crazy episode.
The crazy episode.
So Marisol did say in her confessional, she made a comment about Leah, saying that, like, you're the recovering alcoholic. I really kind of wish Marisol would have said it at the table, but that may have been a little, pointy. Maybe she would have got a lot of backlash. So I'm glad she did.
That's low, Marisol.
It is low, but
it's true. But it's low.
True, but it is low. It's Housewives, so what's low? But Leah,
she could have said it in Spanish.
Oh, Lord. If she had said it in Spanish, Gizelle would have lost her shit.
Jesus Christ.
But Leah apologizes, but Porsha is just, at this point, really annoyed with, you can tell she's like over it. She's over it. She already mad that Candace and called her out and they had her to tell her story. And now she annoyed with Leah because Leah is just like somebody she bored, and she was actually listening to the story. Now, mind you, what's her name? Alexia didn't really say a whole lot because she was still telling the story. But she heard her say many times that she was bored, and Leah made it very clear that she, that she wanted her to hear it. So Porsha feels like in this moment that this night was directed at her. She feels like the names and all the shady names was really for Candace to come at her specifically because, that's just how she feels. And Candace Marisol's stomach is on fire, but she goes and gets another Tito's and pineapple with one cube of ice. Candace goes to the back, to comfort Leah for a little bit, but Leah comes back to the table, and they're all looking for Candace, but she's in the back, basically getting together the show of the Ladyboys or whatever. They give a show. They say Candace looked like a loofah. She did. And, one of the Ladyboys slipped, but she did recover. But I did holler when Porsha and Gizelle were discussing performance, and she said it was a performance of a Thailand. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on the performance? This whole continuation scene. Anything y'all want to talk about?
I will say I love that Candace is really pushing her brand as an artist. Because we always say, use these platforms for, for the greater good for yourself. And I feel like a lot of people have been seeing like, oh, I'm tired of hearing Drive Back. I'm tired of her doing this. And it's like, no, girl, keep pushing, because you never know where your music going to end up. You never know what it's going to turn out to do for you. So keep pushing it. And Drive Back is a great song. So I love that she's continuing to push her brand, even with having a performance in Thailand. So
she better lip sync that song.
Do.
She better lip sync that song on that Casio boombox. There was no
thing
audio. There was no nothing. The sound was so damn low.
It went out. It went out. You know what took me out the most?
That's how you know she was lip syncing, because the audio went out and she said,
when they was performing and the audio went out, and all you heard was the little heels going click, click, click. I was like, it's like, oh shit. All you heard was click, 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 click.
I thought it was nice. If y'all gonna sit up there and let Jocelyn Hernandez perform like a show be day for 3 years straight, then I don't give a shit about motherfucking Candice and Drive Back now. I did think it was cute when Heather said, look, some Ashley, what the hell was it? Ashley Simpson moment happened, and she didn't run up the stage crying. And I just thought it was cute. It was something for them to do. I think that she maybe had the time kind of off, because they were kind of waiting and stuff like that. So I wish everything was more just kind of cohesive to get to that. But I thought it was, cute.
She did her thing.
Okay, so they finish that, they leave, they get on the bus, they're going back home. There's a couple of conversations. Gizelle is still mad about, the Patti LaBelle thing. And this is where she says at her own mouth, after 7 seasons of saying the opposite, that Candiace is a responder. She never initiates. And this is why she should not be Patti LaBelle. In other words, that should be my name. Right. I'm the one that should be. But Porsha, again, still feels like the game was all about her, and she is not happy about it. Heather is drinking, and she's drunk, and basically just giving, being a fan in the back seat. It looks like they had a sweepstakes, and they was just like, you get to spend one day with the Housewives, and that was Heather. Heather won the sweepstakes.
She was trying to be a backup singer,
basically. All right. So it's the next day. It's the day of the yacht. Mirasol's stomach is hurting. I'm so tired. At this point, Mirasol's stomach is a castmate along with her liver. I'm starting to really believe what Adriana said, that she is on, because at this rate, it's perfect time for this reunion to air last week, and then all of a sudden we see stomach. I don't know. But
is it a coincidence?
Is it a coincidence? I ask you. Heather is still fanning over, Candace doing Drive Back. She in the room doing her little Drive Back with her little bikini, her swimsuit on. Whitney and Gizelle are discussing Leah being rude from the night before. And basically, on the bus, they head to the yacht, and Porsha is kind of asking Marisol about like what she's observed. She feels like Marisol is very, very observant. And she just basically talks about, Leah and how things will go on the boat. So things already kind of go a little interesting on the boat, because when they get on the boat, Alexia and Gizelle, I don't know if y'all caught it, were kind of arguing over who bought this damn bottle of tequila. Giselle mentioned that she bought it, like it was the last one in Thailand. She bought it, and Alexia's like, "Okay, this is still my boat." She wants Candiace to take her hat off because Candiace's hat is blocked and she can't see nobody. And I thought it was gonna be an argument there, but it wasn't. So I'm glad it was, because we didn't need anything else that was about to come. And so their Pepsi is about to leave, and they're like, anybody that's want to leave with Pepsi, go back with Pepsi. And Porscha's like, maybe Leah should go. She's bored. And so, this sparks a thing. Giselle basically asks Leah if she's good. And Leah is like, I don't know why y'all would ask me if I want to go back, or act like I don't want to be here, because I've already expressed to y'all that I had a hard time being here. She feels like why would y'all throw that in my face after I expressed that to you, open up to you guys? I don't know if there's something to really be open about. I mean, I get it. We all go on trips with strangers sometimes and be like, I want to be here, but hey, maybe for her it's hard. I'm not sure. But she basically says that, her and Gizelle are going back and forth, and Porsha too. And Gizelle is like, are you saying we can't be fun without having drinks? Like, we're not fun without alcohol? Because that's what I'm hearing. And Leah kind of confirms that's what she was saying. But Leah also brings up Marisol, and that Marisol texted her before the trip. by saying that, she was going to be drinking, she was going to support her. Apparently, everybody takes Leah about supporting her as a bride. It seems like, everybody knew her because Marisol and who else? Heather. So obviously, it was a thing. I feel like maybe even production may have kind of put them in the right direction. I'm not sure. But after that, Alexia says it's a joke. Porsha calls Marisol Marcel. Leah is basically, to me, she's policing who drinks, basically, because she's saying in her way that she was a drunk. Why would anybody want to be doing all these things around her? So I'll stop here and get y'all.
Why'd you come?
Right.
I'll get y'all.
Girl, why the fuck you come?
That part. Why'd you come?
Who want to go first? No matter.
She did say in her defense, I still believe why'd you come? But in her defense, she did say that she struggled with it, with whether or not she was going to attend. And supposedly she signed on at the last minute.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just,
I
don't know. I don't really have much to say about Leah. Just fuck Leah. That's all I really have to say.
Leah, Jesus Christ. Leah
she gets on my nerve.
Leah has a problem with taking accountability for herself. She wants other people to do the work that she needs to be doing. I can understand struggling with sobriety. Anybody who's ever tried to get sober will tell you it's work. But that this is a 10-day vacation in another city. And if you think that any of these ladies are going on an all expense paid trip and are not drinking and are not letting loose, you're stupid. So if you are struggling that much with your sobriety, make the choice not to go. But if you consciously made the choice to sign up for 10 days of this, I don't know what you want everybody else to do. They didn't sign up to be sober. They may be struggling with sobriety, but they didn't sign up to do it. So she's displayed this forever. I'm bored, so everybody else has to be bored, or everybody else has to be in the same mood I am. Everybody should cater to me. It's exhausting. And I really liked her first season, but okay, you had a bad season, your last season of New York because of your grandma. What's your excuse now? It's 3 years later. You're still insufferable.
Yeah, she's just self-centered. Everything has to be about how she feels. It's so annoying.
She's 40 years old.
For me, it's not to even really know that much about her. That's the vibe I get from her, because it's not the fact that you are, recovering from some type of addiction. It's the fact that you have, you're holding everybody else accountable for something that you have already, that you have in a space that is going to be what they're going to be doing for the entirety of the trip. So, it's not that I can't stand when people do that. It's more so like, if you're going to be taking up space in this area, then we're going to have compromises. Now, what I do think that she should have done, when those people were texting her, then she should have said something right then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is a show. Yeah, bring it to the show. Say how much it irritates you. Got it. But in the moment, all these people text, and then, you wait until, you're around somebody to say how, Heather offended you. Be offended in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it, and make it something that isn't, because, I do think that if somebody would have told me that they're recovering, somebody died, she don't smoke no weed, she don't smoke no more, she don't drink no more, girl. So I would be like, ooh, is it okay if because I'm gonna roll me up something and I'm gonna shoot me something. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is.
Wait. You gonna shoot up?
What now? What now, Jazz?
Allegedly.
Lean does not condone any drugs.
I just want to make sure that they're okay. But I would also not take myself out of who I am to make them feel okay, because we're all in the same spaces. Is a brand that is okay with drinking. So
yeah. I think she probably feels a little bit weird, being she is the only girl from her franchise. Everybody else has their buddy from the show with them, except Porsha. But Porsha already knows Gizelle in that. Leah don't know nobody. She knew Marisol, and she cussed Marisol out at the table. So, bitch, who do you know now?
Come on, Jazz. You gotta come on, Jazz. The La Jazz.
Not you enabling her.
The La Jazz. Come on, La Jazz is wise.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Jazz is wise, please. Not you got more fans than Robin. Okay, anyway. All right, so more chaos on the boat. So Leah she feels like the girls have made her get on her period. She already mentioned, or whatever's going on. I don't know what's going on down there because I ain't got one, but it's happening. And so she storms off and goes away. Candiace gets emotional because she says she's having anxiety, and up until yesterday, the Ladyboy show, she wanted to go home. And so she gets emotional, talks about that, and basically she feels like they shouldn't be jumping on Leah because Leah expressed the same, siding with Leah. I mean, obviously she's advocating for Leah more, and that's like her buddy, I guess, their little duo they have, and so I see that, whatever. But Porsha, goes over to her and she's like, anxiety, girl, your event was the shadiest event in game that we did already. Like, how you gain it? How you have anxiety? And so, they kind of go back and forth. Porsha said that the game made her feel uncomfortable, and Candiace asked other people. Alexia says no, but Gizelle said, yeah, I felt uncomfortable too.
Of course she did.
But Candiace apologized, and so they kind of go back and forth. I don't know if y'all caught it, but Porsha was standing over Candiace. And I don't know.
She was like, sit down.
Yeah. Like, can you sit down? And I'm really glad that she did sit down, just because, like, we've seen both. We see how this shit go before. And I'm glad that she was right, because I mean she was standing over her, but it went good. But basically Porsha and Candiace get into it because Porsha was like, I came over to you, to reason and be on your side. But Candiace feels like, no, you came over here to basically try me and comfort me about the game, blah, 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 while I'm trying to advocate for Leah. And they kind of go their separate ways in the moment to where it's like, all right, we're gonna do that. Because Porsha left the moment and then she came back to the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Also reminiscent of season 8. If you saw that boat, that's exactly what she did to Cynthia. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, they end off on a fair note to where they're like, girl, we see each other, because they really do have that energy if you're watching. But yeah, and Heather basically in this moment says what we already know, that she is going to enable anything that her friend does. If her friend wants to jump off the bridge, she's gonna build the bridge because she So give me your thoughts on the situation between Candiace and Porsha in this moment, starting with Jamie.
I just really hate that the narrative has now changed to Leah the victim. I can understand like writing for your friend and being like, all right, guys, like maybe back off just a little bit. Because Porsha and Gizelle were randomly like going hard. I was like, Alexia doesn't even think it's that big of a deal. Like, why are y'all? But okay, cool. But the fact that Candiace swoops in, is like, y'all ain't gonna come for my friend and y'all attacking her. I'm like, this girl opened her damn mouth and started this. She can defend her fucking self. She has no problem stating opinion. I just didn't like that. Like, I get it. That's your friend or whatever on the show. But like, girl, that lady's 45 years old. She can handle herself. And if she can't, maybe she shouldn't open her mouth.
That's what I was saying. I didn't like the fact that she was doing that to her, like it. So it's like, girl, it's okay. Let this. She the one starting the shit. She let her run her mouth and let her herself.
I didn't like the moment more so because of course, I'm not fond of Leah, but I also didn't like it because it reminded me of why I initially have not been liking Candiace pre-season 7, because I always feel like she wants everyone to rally around, how she feels, and kind of, alienates other people's feelings, or other people's way of doing things because of, she feels like it's a certain way you should go about doing things. Going back to the fight with her and Monique, it's one of those things where it's like she wanted Karen to be on her side and not entertain or, have any type of thought about Monique possibly being in the right. It's just like, either you're on my side or you're not. That moment reminded me of that with her protecting Leah, and then just making Leah more into a victim that she shouldn't have been made into. So I was a little irritated with that whole part.
Okay, particularly because Leah didn't even stick around to defend herself. She caught the tears. She huffed off. She did whatever. Like,
she told her to stay though. She did say, she's like, don't leave. Don't let them run you.
Don't let them run you away.
Yeah. But she, that. But Candiace, she does that a lot. Like, with people that she's cool with, her friends with, it may not even be people that worthy, because even like with what's her name, like she's kind of closer to Jacqueline. You know what I'm saying? Like things. Sometimes, like, I love Candiace. I feel like she befriends people when they don't necessarily need it. Sometimes, a lot of times. Actually. But I guess that's just her character. I don't know.
I think she knows how Gizelle can be, and I think obviously just waiting for Gizelle to say any little thing because they literally just finished filming their season and this was before the reunion. So I think Gizelle could breathe and she's gonna jump up and be like, nah, not today. Not on this one. So I think like it's understandable. And I mean Gizelle can be insufferable once she gets started. And already knowing how Porsha, the two of them tag teaming somebody, like I think she just was like, we're not doing this today.
That's what I was gonna say. I see it coming from the other Jasmine, who says on 2 T's in a pod, Candy said she jumped in because Leah was getting ganged up on. What I will say about this is that, to be honest, if you really go back to it, it really wasn't Gizelle and Porsha's fight. If anything, if it had been Marisol and Alexia kind of going at her, then I'll be like, okay, because that's really who she insulted or offended, you know what I'm saying, with the thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like, Gizelle and Porsha were a part of it, but they were going a little too hard, in my opinion, for it not to be them in their story. But, whatever. They felt the way. It's TV, so, hey, they went in it. I don't think they was bullying her because Leah did say the shit. She did it. So, I mean, people, you could say the same. They probably was bullying Ramona or bullying Brandy, but they weren't. These people did these things. Like, they did the shit.
Yeah. So, right, so I say, hold that shit right. Like, hold your own accountability. You know what I'm saying? At the moment, say what you got to say. But every time with Leah, like every time someone does say something to her, she always says, never mind, I don't have nothing to say. I'm good.
Yeah.
Baby, speak on it. I don't think that Candace should change the way she, defends her friends because I can be that person. Like, don't talk about friends.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? I do think that she should be more mindful of the friends that she chooses to defend. Yeah. And that's why I think gets her in trouble because she used to defend Monique all the time too. And that's why she took it so hard when Monique started to go to Ashley. Yeah. And, you know what I'm saying?
I said that she be friend people she shouldn't be friends.
Right. Yeah. So,
that's a different show. And honestly,
I'm so mad at Gizelle because
throw your little shade.
Yeah.
That's just
Tony Braxton.
I thought.
Look, I let you catch your time. I let it go, but I'm just saying.
I thought it was hilariously delusional that Porsha thinks anybody believes she got up and charged over at Candace so she could go make peace, so she could make it right. She's like, I came over here to make it right. No, you did not.
It was literally the same thing with Cynthia. I think with Cynthia, she was trying to make peace, but in this moment, you came over here and chose violence by saying, girl, you got anxiety, but this what you did? No.
But the gag of it is, it's like she initially felt that the whole thing was to be petty towards her. So you're getting up and telling me that my feelings are valid because, bitch, you made fun of me yesterday. So I know your ass ain't that sad.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, Porsha's not that slow. She gets like she's been in this shit for a while. So she knows what she's doing too.
Okay.
She's a good producer.
Now this part, half of it is annoying as hell. So if you watch Salt Lake City, you know about that damn black eye.
Oh.
But so Alexia has a game. The game was cool. They got these little things with it. I
like that. Spanish phrases and slang.
And they had a translation. So I did like that. Were they for each person? Like, was it for like, I guess their personality? She just gave them out random. I can't remember.
She just gave them out randomly.
Okay, cool.
But it ended up matching.
So Gizelle hijacks that moment because she says, well, Whitney and Heather, I heard that y'all made peace earlier, but what's going on? And Leah's like, well, y'all made peace. Well, because Whitney was talking shit about you in the bus by saying that you got this book coming out, but you still on the damn Mormon website. What's that about? And Heather's like, what? Now, if you watch Salt Lake City, Whitney, she filmed her signing the document and getting off the damn Mormon website or whatever it is, the list.
The registry,
correct. And so I guess Whitney was shaming Heather about this to the other women. Heather basically explains how hard it is to be removed. I mean, they said basically Whitney knows because she had to go through a lot as well. Just so happened that she did it before her. And so she went through the process. And Candiace holds up her sign, which means this is a mess because it was a hot ass mess, what they were going back and forth about. Porsha is annoyed with Whitney. And so Whitney gets emotional and basically Heather's like, listen, Whitney's emotional, talking about again her loyalty to Heather versus Heather's loyalty to Jen. And Heather's like, listen, I've never lied to you. I've never lied about Jen. I never lied for anyone. I'm like, that kind of contradicts what you said earlier, because earlier you said that you would do it up for your friend and whatever case may be. Well, Whitney brings up the black eye. Whitney was like, you have lied. You lied for Jen because she beat your ass during season 3. And everybody like, black eye. I ain't gonna lie. Gizelle, I fell out because Gizelle was like, black eye. It was like, oh shit, they fighting so late. I was cracking up because Gizelle and the black housewives were like, these bitches crazy. And so, we got to hear about this damn black eye again. And, as everybody's talking about it, Heather gives her 2 theories that we never heard on the show. She said the cabinet hit her. Giselle said, no. Then she said she got elbow. I'm like, I ain't heard that either. But she's still basically sticking to stitches. Snitches get stitches, and she don't know what happened. She don't remember. And as Whitney is explaining the night, Porsha is even more annoyed. She's like, okay, so what? Because basically she calls out what Whitney's trying to do. Whitney is trying to use this and basically say that she got this black eye from Jen. That's why she was lying. So give me y'all thoughts on the Salt Lake City. I feel so embarrassed for them and their franchise, to be honest, because they are just letting these girls just do this. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. They are really like the baby housewife franchise of this. They don't give all-star at all. And I know they're new, but they could have came in with such a different approach, but they are literally getting like puppet mastered. Jazz.
White women trigger me so much. And I just really, the whole thing, and Whitney and Lisa on that show do it the most to me. They trigger me because no matter how much shit they do, it's so like the little moment that you might hold them accountable, they will bust out in tears and then bring up so much shit that has nothing to do with what the fuck we're talking about right now. So, you're mad at the girl because she's friends with somebody else. She has loyalty to her. She has loyalty to you. You're mad at her because she did this. She's mad at her because, this is a grown-ass woman. Like, she has 3 kids. You have fucking kids. Like, you have your own separate lives. So I don't get Whitney. Like, Whitney's just throwing everything in the fucking kitchen sink just to make it so that she doesn't look wrong in any type of situation. Just take your fucking L. And that's what I can't take about Whitney. She's such a white woman. And it's just triggering. It's triggering. But I think that also in this moment, every time Heather has a glimpse of something getting off of her and it being about somebody else, and somebody else can take the blame for something, she has a sigh of relief that I just see her back just drop, from relief sometimes. So I don't know, that whole Whitney and Heather thing, I'm starting to see a dynamic of I think Chad said that last time of maybe they're fucking doing this shit on purpose because it's just so unbelievable, but they're so dingy that maybe that the shit is true. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point this is all fucking what's her name? Whitney's fault. Heather does not want to keep talking about this. Heather does not want to keep rehashing this. I'm in fucking Thailand. I'm trying to have a good ass time. She said before she started, we have never been out of the damn state. I'm ready for a vacation.
They have not. Hello.
And Whitney continues to belabor the points while saying, I have been loyal to you. And in the next breath, spreading her business to all these strangers. and it's exhausting. If I was Heather, I'd be like, girl, I'm not doing this anymore. I just refuse. Yeah. Whitney is draining. It's almost to the point where I wish they would have got somebody else to go with Heather. Because I think Heather would have been more fun. You could see she's trying to have fun and just let loose. Poor girl, she ain't never been on a girl's trip. She doesn't know how these things are supposed to go. She looks a little awkward, but she's trying to have fun. Whitney is fucking bringing.
I ain't gonna lie. If Jen was the person she was, I would have loved Jen shot to go.
Oh, that would have
been, and that would have been some crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie. Jesus.
I think she would have had a good time with Meredith too. I think she would have had a good time with everybody.
Oh yeah.
Or you know what? I would say Meredith over Lisa. I feel like Meredith's a little more fun than Lisa. Lisa,
Mary.
Yeah.
Mary.
Mary, Lord.
Mary's still sitting in the back of the van. No, but I think that if Heather is smart, she should let Whitney continue to make a fool of herself, because every time Whitney opens her mouth, she makes Heather look more like an angel. Because what she did to her with the whole Mormon thing really pissed me off. I got really upset about it, because I was like, if you know you've been trying to get away from this for 15 years and they wouldn't let you do this, why would you sit there and say that about her? And clearly you could tell Heather was really upset about it, because, it's like, you have gone through this yourself. Why would you sit there and do that? And then especially after y'all had just called a truce, as well, you turned around, and I feel like she's making Heather look, I feel like she's literally making Heather go into season 4 being pretty much vindicated of everything that happened season 3. And it's going to look bad on her, and she's going to look up and look really, really dumb when it comes out, and nobody's on her side about it. But even with that, she really made herself look pathetic, like literally pathetic, with her trying to show Porsha and Gizelle that phone of that black eye. It was like, girl, what is the motive?
You were so desperate. You were so desperate.
Desperate. It was, I mean, like Cortez said, it made me feel embarrassed for the franchise, because, we've been going hard for Salt Lake City, and it's like, to see this look so manufactured and so pressed, it's nasty. I don't like it.
Well, it sheds light on episode 1 when she kind of incriminated herself without really knowing it, when she said, well, we're on a TV show, that's why I did it. So now I'm looking at every single thing Whitney has ever, and we talked about this whenever we recap Salt Lake, like Whitney, it's gotten to the point where everything is meticulously manufactured with her and Lisa, everything. And it's just it's not enjoyable, because at some point you've got to be authentic. And I feel bad for Heather, because I think Heather's looking at her like, is this worth it? Like, is this TV show worth you just like selling me out or talking shit about me behind my back? Because Heather's a lot of things, but she hasn't gone and talked about Whitney at all to anybody. No, I don't think.
Well, I mean, even on their season, it seemed like Heather it happens, and she kind of, because even during the season, there were a lot of times where at her event she would be like hugging Whitney be a confessional, like, why is she hugging me? Why is she hugging me? Like, we were beefing. So I mean, Whitney just can't let it go. At all. I don't know why she keeps making that. That's why I didn't mind Heather pushing her into the wall and pushing her out of her damn house, because it's like, Whitney, girl, you need some discipline. You just so annoying. So to keep going too, you already mentioned about the picture. I did think that was kind of like pathetic, actually. The fact that she was trying to pull the and Gizelle and them. I was like, Gizelle and Porsha, please stop. At this rate, I didn't like the look for them either, because it's like, now, like, it's a TV show, but I feel like y'all are taking advantage of this weak little woman, and because Whitney, she is like, she's just falling into it, and then she over there confused, like, I don't know, I want to show up, but I'm scared. Like,
she sat there, she goes, what are the ramifications if I show this? Girl, get up
that. Whitney is not that fucking slow. Ain't nobody gonna tell me Whitney's not that fucking slow. She said that.
I don't think she's slow, but she's a little girl. That's what she is. And it's just like, I really
little girl.
hate that. I didn't like that whole look of it all. I didn't like that for Gizelle and Porsha. I didn't like it for Whitney. It was just stupid to me. I was like, this is not cute. Whether the black eye was really not stupid as hell, but putting out pictures, girl, just watch the season. It's coming out in 3 months.
I mean, but I do get what you said. Like, I didn't like Porsha and Gizelle, and it wasn't a good look for them either, because Porsha was like, I mean, we ain't gonna force you.
Right. It was. I didn't like that at all. It didn't look good to me. I'm like, y'all, all right, this is like some high school shit, like real high school.
Very much.
Yeah. Like it. Now I did laugh at Gizelle saying, man, I mean, I'm gonna say, well, Jen did the black eye. I'm just gonna say that.
She's gonna do it until somebody give her a black eye. So,
and we know Gizelle lies about assault, so
right.
Yeah. Heather hears it and she's over it. She's having a moment. She's like, it's really ridiculous. You're about to show the damn picture. Like, basically, Whitney, you're proving me right with everything you're doing, even this picture. Somebody says American people are crazy, and Marisol was like, no, people from Utah are crazy. Like, yes, you're absolutely right. Call it out, Marisol.
I loved her and Alexia. They're saying Miami is boring. What are these girls doing? They fight. They're giving each other black eyes.
Right. I mean, you should have. All those women, when they heard the black eye, they was just like, "What the hell we doing on our damn show? They got black eyes in Lake City. We need to step it up." But no, please don't go to that stream because it was.
Candace probably somewhere saying colorism.
If that's what we want to talk about is colorism, shit, I want a black eye. Okay, so Candiace is with the girl, she's with Leah, and she talks about the situation between Chris and Gizelle. She tells Leah about everything that Gizelle has accused Chris of, and Leah is just like, "Are you kidding me? Like, he's coming at me about me being bored when she's over there accusing men of being inappropriate." I'm like, first of all, where's the correlation?
Any correlation?
Where are the dots? But I'm like, you know what, Leah? Whatever you got to do. Don't do it. Right. Do it. So she goes over to Gizelle, and Gizelle says it's a lie. Like, what are you talking about? Candiace goes over, and they kind of go back and forth about it or whatever. And Candiace basically they kind of leave on the same note, but in other words, in the confessional, Leah says the reference of neck. I'm assuming she's been hanging with Candiace too long because we know what it was for her, I guess, to say neck. And they, basically Candiace is like, I'm not saying that you said he did something sexual to you, but what I'm saying is you made it seem like, we know the damn story. You made it seem like he did something inappropriate, like on some Michael Darby shit, and Michael and Marisol was like, "Oh, Michael Darby. Oh, that's the man that be cheating on Ashley Darby." I'm like, "You better know your shit, Marisol." Like I said, everybody knows about the damn Darbys. That's crazy. Any thoughts on this scene?
Leah's messy ass. The fact that what I will say is when Candiace was defending her, I was like, Leah would not do this for Candiace. Like, Leah wouldn't do that. And then Leah goes, granted, she was making it about herself, but she still stood up. She still stood up for Candiace. I love that all Candiace said was, she accused my husband of being inappropriate or making her feel uncomfortable. And Leah walks in, "What the fuck, Gizelle?" You said Chris sexually assaulted you? Like, whoa. That is not what was said. It was her walking in and standing with like her hands on her hips. Like,
baby, it was like she was just like, "How dare you do that?" And you try to be mad at me because I said I'm bored. Leah.
Oh my goodness.
I loved it. But Gizelle again, she said, Now Leah, that's not what happened.
I will say this. I do like that Leah is not afraid to, go at really anybody black women, because I do feel like, sometimes in the Bravo verse, I feel like some women kind of hold back because they're afraid of whatever, because it can be a lot, but I like that she does it, and we ain't got, as of right now, we ain't got no microaggressions, we ain't got nothing. She just basically going back at them, you know what I'm saying, in her own way. So, hey, I do like that about her.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you aren't a racist white woman, because that's one thing I'll say about Leah. I've never really cared for her, but I've never gotten racist from her. Right. But I think when you aren't racist, you can go back and forth with other races of people because you're not worried about what's going to come out. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of the other white women, they don't go back and forth with black women because they don't know what they can and can't say, and they probably really low key racist.
Right. Because if you gotta think about it, then what you think about it for, bitch? Yeah. You can go low if you want to. I'll go to hell. We can talk about it.
Some of the comments and seeing everybody did look lit for the moment. Leah, she ate that little moment. I ain't gonna lie, she did. Especially, I don't know if because it was against Gizelle, but Gizelle was like, "Huh? I did not lie. That's a lie. That's a lie, Leah. Sorry, girl."
She didn't mad. She didn't even, like you said, it didn't correlate, but it was just like James was like, the fuck she did not.
I love it.
She was just glad to have something on Gizelle.
Oh, absolutely.
Gizelle was going so hard at her earlier. She was like, "Oh, now I got something to talk about this help about. So let me go address her on this boat." All right, so that was pretty much the boat. It was a lot on that damn boat. I will agree. I don't think that was ever really a fun moment, because usually when they go on the yachts, they be dancing and they be doing a little thing. Baby, they was arguing from the beginning about that damn bottle of Azul to the end, literally. So and they even talked about it on the bus, and Porsha was like, "Girl, this boat," for Porsha to say that, coming from the Atlanta franchise, it must have been a whole lot worse. I'll say that.
Listen.
So they're on the bus, and Gizelle is still talking about the black eye. She says she gonna just say that Jen Shaw gave it a black eye. Whitney and Heather does not want to be on the bus with Whitney, but she still has to get on it anyway. Even though Porsha offered to switch, but I guess she didn't. Before she didn't get up, I'm like, "What, you gonna get up and do it?" Because I mean, you say you're gonna switch, but they get back to the house, and Leah and Candace are talking about Gizelle and Porsha. Candiace is kind of telling her, like, listen, this is Gizelle, this is what she does. You need to check her, but just know when you check her, it ain't gonna stop what she gonna do or what she gonna say. And that's very true, because one thing about Gizelle, you can read her to oblivion, and realistically, she ain't gonna stop. She just gonna it don't really phase her. The one time that it seemed to have phased her is what they cut from season, was it 5?
Monique,
and that's just what we heard. So we don't know at the reunion. So whatever. But the end of the episode, Heather was in the room reading that damn Porsche book. Were those words in that book? Because she was.
It made me want to go look.
I was hollering because she was still going. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe, and I didn't miss it. It was the way she was reading it and the moment. I thought it was everything. So that ended off the episode. Did y'all have any thoughts on this last little part before I pass it over to any callers we have?
That's why I like Heather. Because Heather, yes, she can. I mean, I just hope like she can laugh at herself. She can laugh and she can have because literally it's kind of shady, but it's not. But I feel like that she can always laugh at herself. I just hate that she's at the expense of other people. She's laughing at herself all the time too. So, but I do like Heather because she seems fun to be around.
Yeah.
When she's not getting bogged down by Whitney's shit or Jen's shit or anybody's shit, she's fun. Like back to like when they were at the elephant, I don't know, there was something so funny about everybody screaming and throwing mud around and the camera pans and it's Heather by herself just like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. Just like, why do
she is a comedic relief. Like she really is. Her confessional, I mean, you watch Salt Lake City, she says, and she's very witty with what she says.
Yes.
I think somebody said in the comments of our recap of episode 1 that they wish that she loved herself more, and I do wish that she get that full confidence because she could be like she could really be a star, to be honest. She really could be. And I think she's great, well in her own way, but she could be a whole lot further than where she is if she had the little boost of self-confidence that I think she's missing.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts on the episode? I don't know if we have any callers today. I put the link in the chat. I'll put it in again to give y'all. I know it's Sunday, so like I said, y'all showed out today. Like there's a lot of y'all in here, and it's a Sunday. We've never had Sunday shows, and we probably never will again. But if you're watching right now, obviously this show is going to be on Thursdays. We did episodes 1, 2, and 3 over from Friday to today, so we really appreciate y'all for coming out Friday and today. But this show is going to be on Thursdays at 8:30 Eastern for the remainder of the season. So that's where you can find us. In the meantime, obviously, if you're not watching this, you can watch the Queens of R&B on Tuesdays. I'm sorry, not Tuesday. Mondays at 8:30, hosted by Chase. And then we have New Jersey on Wednesdays. So make sure y'all check out our other shows. Like we be here, the panel switches up. You may see Jamie, you may see Jazz, you may see Chad. I don't know, but we always gonna be here. So on that note, nobody wants to call in today, so we're gonna take that as a break because Jamie got things to do. Not just land.
Me. I'm gonna park on the couch and just play video games all day.
Oh, so I see you on Overwatch. I see you on Overwatch.
I'll see you on Overwatch. We should do Overwatch.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, listen, again, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for chatting with us today. And if you're watching the replay, give us your comments on, how you feel about this Ultimate Girlship. I had said after episode 1, it was already my favorite of the 3. And I even watching episode 2 and 3, I still feel that way. I think it was like a beautiful mistake of a cast, actually. And I think it's going to be like one of the best of the, and I'm looking forward to the rest of them too. So, All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all for watching. Have a happy Sunday. If you ain't been to church, go. If you don't even go to church, just go get on your knees on the side of the bed, and I'll leave it right there. Y'all have a good day, y'all.